I love that. All right, let's move on to comeback player of the year. Brinson, is there a world where Damar Hamlin does not win this? He's currently priced at minus 285. And then next up, you got Russell Wilson and Tua following with plus 2,000 odds. I mean, there's just, I don't know what would have to happen that Damar doesn't win.
Well, so here's the thing, though. Damar Hamlin is on the field now, and he is a great story to start the year. It's an incredible story. Don't get me wrong. Like coming back and playing
after dying, yeah. I mean,
after dying on the field, yes,
couldn't be better.
Now there's some conspiracy theorists out there that think,
really?
Have you not
don't
heard
go down
this?
that rabbit hole, Katie.
Oh, dude, they're so weird.
Yeah,
like,
don't do it.
They think it was like faked by the NFL to like drum up ratings. It's just the most insane thing of all time. So I do think though that there is a case to be made that by the time that we get to January and people are voting on this award, that you could make the case that there will be more surprising stories, and that the people who are voting will think, of course, Damar Hamlin, the easy choice. But if he's that locked, why isn't he minus 10,000? You can bet minus 285. You don't want to lay that type of juice over a full season. No. But I think there's a case to be made that, in particular, a name on this list that just stands out to me in a big way. Now, I think Russell Wilson at 20-1 is a good bet. If Russell Wilson if they win 10 plus games after his stinker of a season and he plays well, Russell Wilson will be in the mix for this award, right? I mean, like, again, Damar Hamlin, great story now. It's a long time until January. Like, these things can flip overnight, and you can see people reward the on-field production. The other name that I think is just being slept on.
Okay.
John Mechie III. He's coming back from leukemia. To play in the NFL after missing.
But did he die though? Did he die though?
He did not die.
That's the barometer. That's the meter that we're using.
Damar Hamlin is probably going to win it, but remember, Alex Smith won the award because he was forced into action after his broken leg. It was sort of like, all right, if Alex Smith has to play, then he's going to win this award. He didn't play until the end of the year when he had to play. Now, like, Damar Hamlin's been out on the field, but like Damar Hamlin's not going to be like a high impact player, right? I mean, we don't think that to be the case. Now, maybe he is, and I'm completely wrong, but I just think Mechie coming back from leukemia, from missing an entire season, if the Texans are better than we think, and he's like their number one receiver, and he's flashed some in the preseason, could absolutely be in the mix for this award. And then I think that you could probably take some shots. I mentioned these guys in the article as longer shots. I think you got to be a little careful here because, again, someone died. And then you got, Mechie coming back from leukemia. But Sam Darnold at 45-1 and Jamal Adams at 80-1. I think both guys just, you have, either Darnold's career that he's coming back from or Adams with the injury. If Darnold was like QB1 for San Francisco and they went 13-4 or 14-3 or something, like that's a legitimate case to be made that he wins the award. And then Jamal Adams at the Seahawks defense is like top 10 in the league. Again, you got to overcome a lot of stuff here, but not as much as Damar Hamlin overcame to get back on the field.
But did he die though?
Did he die? No. Yeah.
That's gonna be the thing, man.
Probably.
I just hate that is you giving too much credit to these NFL writers that vote, these NFL voters, because they want to make their hell. They be having their articles written before the game over with, right? So of course this
complaining when a game goes to overtime.
Exactly. Oh! Of course, come back. I think they should just name it the Damar Hamlin Trophy. That way you can split both ends, right? Because I could also make a case for Matt Stafford coming back. We saw how terrible the Rams looked last year without Stafford. You could also make a case for Lamar Jackson. You could even make a case for his teammate Odell Beckham Jr. But man, it's so hard to ignore what the league and media wants. We hyped up Damar Hamlin making a 1-yard TFL, against the Colts in preseason. Keep in mind, he had already been out there all training camp practicing, but now he's in the game. And then it was like, they want him to win it.
Yes.
So it is hard to ignore that force.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's Damar Hamlin's. But I also think that even Tua, at plus 2,000.
Damn to die too.
Because everyone's talking about how he might die, if he gets another concussion, or he had those 2 concussions. It was very, very scary. League protocols have almost changed since that. So if he comes back, he's got a great season, no concussions. Miami, like you said, wins the division, goes on and does special things. I think Tua, narrative wise, has a lot of that going on with him too. And then it's so funny, Captain Spock says 2 49ers quarterbacks are on this list. Yeah, either Trey Lance or Sam Darnold could be interesting here. I mean, you think about Trey Lance, number 3 pick overall, gets injured. Jimmy Garoppolo comes in, Purdy takes his job. He doesn't look that good in the first preseason game. He's showing some, signs of potential specialness. Let's say, God forbid, something happens to Purdy, and then Trey Lance comes in there and he starts balling, and he looks like that number 3 overall that San Francisco always wanted. At 35 to 1, I mean, I don't think that those odds are that bad too. Those, again, are on Caesars. I think it's a little bit different on DraftKings.